I can recreate that picture right now.
Honestly, it looks like you're wearing the same shirt.
Not when I'm wearing like a gray long sleeve.
Odd. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's from N's other channel. When he does his live streams, the guy looks like he's just miserable when he's doing his live streams.
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes, sometimes I can't help myself.
Yeah. Well, how you doing? How you doing, Dan? Today is what's today? Today's Monday, the 26th. How you doing, Day?
Well, Z, it's a day closer to June being over.
Yeah.
I'm ready for June to be over. I absolutely hate May and June, but we're not feeling too bad. Got some decent sleep, but Grandma decided to be up all night.
So were you getting woken up?
Yeah, I was half asleep in my room, and then she comes in. And see, it's like 3 in the morning.
God,
I know. So
what was she saying?
See, I couldn't even understand her. But I was up like, I don't know. I showered at like 2:00 last night, and I was up late last night. But showered at like 2, and I got a bowl of cereal. And there was about 4 or 5 times I had to put my bowl of cereal down. So then it got to the point I had to go get Kathy, and she took care of it. And then she went back downstairs. And then when I was ready to, I went to bed, and then I'm half asleep, and Grandma starts, and she starts crying, don't know what's going on. So I get Kathy, and Kathy was up with her till 8:00.
8:00.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
You just feel for Kathy. You really do.
Yeah. So that was last night. But other than that, Z, we slept decently. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. It's good to be back by the mic.
Yeah, it is, N. Today's a beautiful day. Today's a big day. Today's a big day. And Ed knows exactly what today is. And would you like to tell everybody?
Well, it's gonna be another cancellation.
So today, if we win our first game, then we advance to the championship. So either at the end of the day, we'll be crowned champions, raising another banner, wearing another ring, or we'll be going home.
Yeah, wearing another ring that Z has never gotten, because they don't give out rings. They give out T-shirts, and they give out a banner that they only see one time that night, and then it goes right in the office to never be seen again.
And if you'd rate that flag football league out of 1 to 10, in your honest opinion, what would you give it?
Z, it's a 4.5.
Really?
Yeah. It's a 4.5. And the reason why is because if each individual is paying a certain amount of money, and the fact that you cannot play every single Monday. Now, if there's terrible weather, that's obviously a different thing because it's played outdoors. But there's been so many times where games have gotten canceled and delayed another week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in a row for really ultimately no reason. And I would be absolutely heated if I was paying money and I'm not able to play every week as I should be. And also, there's no backup plans in the sense of poor weather either.
Yeah.
So regardless, games should be played every week.
It's funny. And I don't know if I told you this last week, but this right here, I mean, we talk about this pretty much every single episode we talk about. Because one, I just want to reiterate to you guys that today's June 26th. It's a 7-game regular season with at the most 2 or 3 playoff games. So what, 10 weeks? Was that 2.5 months?
About Z.
Our league started on March 27th.
Yeah, so March 27th to the April 27th is a full month. Then to May is 2 months, and tomorrow will make 3 months.
It's still not over.
I know.
So here's the thing, and I think I told you this last week, and please have this make sense. So last week was the first round of the playoffs. We were supposed to play last week instead of having a possible doubleheader today. And we go out there. It's a beautiful day. It's sunny, but we all know Florida at some point that could change, right? But it didn't start raining. Weather started approaching, and there was lightning nearby. And the Rangers came by the park and said, like, hey, like we may need to shut it down. we might need to shut down. But once lightning strikes within like 5 miles or whatever, they there's like a siren that plays around the park that essentially just tells people you got to get out of the pools, you got to get out of the fields, whatever. But they put that siren, but they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck unless it was like an actual hurricane. Then they'll tell people to leave. But it wasn't that bad. So lightning strikes, and then we get a call from Eric, and then the other person who's head of the league, and they said shut it down.
Yeah,
they say shut it down, cancel the games now. It's probably like 7:00. Nobody there wanted to leave, so we finish out the 7:30 games, but they tell us that we have to cancel the 8:30 ones. Oh, we'll move them to next week.
Yeah,
which happened, but tell me how this makes sense. Right across the field, on the other field, the other flag football league, they played the whole entire night.
Yeah.
They played the whole entire night. Everything, all their games, their 6, 7, 8, 9 games, every single one was played. And guess what? Yeah, that lightning was close, so maybe it wasn't too safe. But it passed, and it passed so quickly. And you can see in a snap of a finger how quickly they're like, "Oh, Barnett, thank you you for letting us know. Yeah. I'm just so happy to push this back again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I hate coming out here.
Yep.
It's terrible.
Yep. No, Z, it's pretty accurate, and ultimately it comes down to the owner, the person that runs that show, and we all know who that is. Well. So, I mean, the guy's never been a fan of football anyway, so.
No.
Well, it's all about his kickball and volleyball league.
Softball. Yeah. So today's a big day. Today's a day for us to go possibly win another championship. It's a beautiful day outside, so there should be no cancellations. If there are, I'm just going to absolutely just pop off. Because I actually kind of popped off last week. I told N that. And says I never and says I never really say anything. But last week I actually did say something where I'm just like, dude, like it just gets to a point where like you just get tired of it, man. Like,
yep.
That's what
I've been telling Z, get out of the league.
Just make sure you put on your website every other week you'll get canceled.
It's not even a thing of like, oh, if there's bad weather, like, yeah, we might have to cancel games. That's a given because it's Florida, but it's the fact that things get canceled when it doesn't need to be canceled.
Right.
Never forget, Kels and I were down there.
No.
And in April, and there was a little rain at like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Dark clouds were a little gray. There was a little bit of rain. Come noon,
yep,
they get the text that it's the games are canceled for the day. And then probably an hour after that, it's nothing but clear skies and sunshine.
No. There was not one cloud in the sky for the rest of the day.
There wasn't. And they didn't get to play that day. That's my point.
It wasn't even noon.
And Jason and I wanted to see him play.
It was like 11 because remember we saw Tristan, and Tristan was like, "Oh, the games are canceled." Well, the games are canceled. Eric, the sun just came up.
Yeah.
And from like Ann just said, from like noon for the rest of the day, there was not one single cloud in the sky.
No. And it didn't even really rain that hard either in the morning.
No. So, anyways, but we're gonna go out there. We're gonna go out there later this evening. We're gonna try to win a championship. It'd be a nice. I know it'd be a nice another accomplishment to win another one.
Well, good luck, Z. Let me know how it goes.
So we'll see if we can get it done. Now, moving on to topic number 2. You know, I've been home alone the last probably last week or so.
Start calling you McAllister.
Yeah, McAllister. You know, I mean, you know, just make sure you guys send some thoughts and prayers to Annette and her family. They've been going through a tough time up there in Washington. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty. But you know, and Enn's aware. So, you know, we're not going to talk about it here on the video because that's, you know, Annette's business and, you know, she's dealing with it on her end. But you know, just positive thoughts today, guys. You know, live every day at the fullest, and most importantly, take care of yourselves. Take care of yourselves. So, And we had to talk about what happened last week. Was it last week? Yeah, it was last week. With this whole just Titanic bullshit.
Yeah.
Or not even the Titanic. Whatever the hell that submarine was called.
Titan.
The Titan.
Yeah.
The Titan.
Yeah. It's something that I won't really understand. It's something where I don't understand why you want to pay $250,000 to go to the depths of the ocean to not even see the Titanic, to actually see it on a screen, the same type of images that we see on a screen online.
Well, there's like a small window.
Yeah, but other than that, though, like, how much can you ultimately grasp for that?
Right.
And you're crammed in that small thing for $250,000.
A person.
Yeah. Why would anybody in their right mind want to do that?
No. No.
So, when all that happened, and the reports kind of came out that there was communication lost, and that there's only a certain amount of hours of oxygen left on that thing, and that it's not able to be detected or found. It seems like from all things that have been reported on that, because that was like, what is today? Today's Monday. So what was that, like Thursday that all came out, where it was like officially like
that they were announced. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But it seems like on that Sunday that it was actually it, because they were saying that in terms of when they lost communication, the thing itself just imploded. So it seems like they're already dead by Sunday. And then 3-4 days later, there was just the reports, they don't have oxygen, or they only have a certain amount of oxygen. And there was like this beating sound heard. And then they just came to the conclusion that they found some debris and it's just not going to be found. And, but it seems like on Sunday, though, that the whole entire submarine just absolutely was demolished.
They were
already dead.
Yeah. So obviously people have, I've been seeing conspiracy theories everywhere, Twitter, TikTok, where the first thing is like, oh, what did they hear then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah. Here we go.
Right. And
here we go. Well, it was two whales getting clapped. That's what it was. Look at the bald spot, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the bald spot. Look at the bald spot. Put your head down, Morsey. Put the head down.
We're not doing
it. That's on video. That is staying on video.
It's just thin hair.
Yeah, it's just thin hair. I mean, Z, it's just at a point where I might as well call you Manu Ginobili as well.
Manu Ginobili.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we'll continue, guys. We're not going to make this episode about a bald spot on Z. So,
well, and we all know it's there. I haven't denied it. I haven't said anything. I haven't argued. it.
That's been expanding the last 3 years, Z.
Yep. Well, and like I said, we're gonna enjoy the hair while it lasts. It might not be too much longer.
Well, anyway, Z, would you say that you wish you were on that submarine?
And every ounce of me kind of wishes I did.
Well, what do you do if Barry was on there?
Yeah. Well, with all jokes aside,
Barry's in the depths of the ocean.
Yeah, that's where he belongs.
Yeah.
With all jokes aside, it's obviously sad because there was like a 19-year-old on there. That I saw reports that he didn't want to go on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was he wasn't wanting to do it at all.
Now, just this whole thing to me is just really just sounds like a bunch of BS. In the way of like, things happen, right? Like, planes crash, ships sink, so like things happen. So it just like did they already know that these people were just gone like instantly, like once they lost contact? So like, I don't understand what was happening for this 3-4 day process of like, oh, well, they still have oxygen. Once the oxygen runs out, then they'll be announced dead. And so like, I don't know, just to me, it's a little bizarre that like when they were announced that it was gone, that like I think they found like pieces to it like a few hours later or whatever, or maybe it was the other way around. Like they found the pieces, and then 3 hours later they were announced that they were gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just the whole thing, it just sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Like obviously I think we can just cement what happened, that they went down and some malfunction happened, and unfortunately just the thing imploded.
I think it was I think it was the water pressure too. I think just the thing wasn't stabilized. Like there was no safety procedures. Like the CEO of the company, he what did he say? He said he was talking about in the sense of I mean, see, if you're getting on something that's controlled by that, I don't know what to tell you.
And it's not even a PS5 controller.
Yeah.
What was it? It looked like a PS2 controller.
PS1?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. But the fact that it seems like the CEO of the company was just not really caring about safety procedure, safety protocol about that thing, and that they're just going to go regardless. And I don't know what to tell you. Now, I'm pretty sure that it's had some successful missions before in the sense, but I don't know if they went as far down as they did.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if it was the same company, but there's
it was. Now was it the same I'm sure it was probably the same sub, but
who knows?
Yeah, but still, like that obviously something was wrong with it, that there was no checks on it, that there was nothing in the sense of that this thing is going to stabilize, and terms of just who knows ultimately how deep they got really, but it just couldn't hold up.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you bring up a good point there when it comes to the safety procedures. I don't know, like I don't understand the fun of it, because like when you look inside, because there was a video that surfaced of the Titan like before this whole situation, of it going underwater, and someone was taking the video inside of it, and I'm just like how do you even how are you even comfy in that thing?
I know. Look at the toilet.
I know. And
I mean, Z, that would just be a volcanic eruption if one of us were in there.
And one of us, it's you. God, and if I was
Z, you've had some bad ones.
Yeah. And if I was in there with you, I don't know what I would do.
But it seems like that ultimately that they were down there and everything just kind of happened in a split second. Like they probably didn't even really realize,
right?
Like it just happened. And now maybe there might have been like a weird sound. They were like, "What the heck was that?" And then everything just kind of hit the fan. Or it could have just been that it just all happened at one time and they were just kind of enjoying each other's company and everything seemed okay. And then see you later.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be laughing. I mean, it's a sad situation. It's just pathetic how all this went down.
Well, it really is. It really is.
I mean, but I think if there's one thing that comes out of this, and I know this is not going to become true, but I think now it's like what should happen from here on out is just like leave, like I'm not saying like it's haunted, but like leave just the Titanic alone.
Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Honestly, leave the freaking ocean alone. Oh, I got to see the tiny little insect all the way in the freaking Mariana Trench floating around.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh, again, and this will go back all the way to our conversation we had last video.
That has nothing to do with sharks. It has nothing to do with sharks.
Well,
I'm saying leave the ocean alone. I mean, seriously.
So you're telling me for no one to go in the ocean?
Well, you can, but I mean, in terms of where it's not safe, leave it alone.
Well, I agree. So,
I got to find the Dutchman's treasure. Yeah, the Dutchman's treasure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree. Like the Bermuda Triangle, fuck that.
Yep.
You know,
the freaking Twilight Zone or whatever the hell it's called, and the freaking deeper than the Titanic. Leave it alone.
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's called like the Twilight something, and it's once you really start getting to the point where sunlight can't really be reached down there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think what comes out of this is just leave the Titanic alone. It's down there. It ain't going anywhere. I think we have plenty of pictures. Maybe once every like few years we can check on it to see if it's still in the same location. But like, and to see like if it's still like there. I guess I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But
yeah.
I mean, God, how long has that thing been down at the bottom of the ocean now?
It's over 100 years.
Is that how long it's been?
It sank in 1912.
Yeah,
or 1912.
Yeah, well, stay down there.
Yeah.
I remember I was saying something where like someone was like, why don't we just pull it up? Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, let's pull it up.
Yeah.
Maybe if we had the equipment to do that.
Yeah. What are we just at the bottom of a swimming pool here?
Yeah.
Oh, what a joke.
12,000 feet.
And I know.
Yeah, just pull it up. Let's just get a crane and pull it up.
Yeah, so but I did kind of stumble upon a video on TikTok yesterday of somebody who went down there. He actually went down there on his own, which is kind of crazy.
Is it James Cameron?
I don't know who it was.
James Cameron, who directed the Titanic and also did Avatar, I believe. I know that he did a couple missions.
Yeah. Really interesting to see, like when they go down there, like you can't see shit, and then eventually you get there, and then it just like the tip of the bow just shows. I think the bow's the front, and it just pops up. Super cool. So, I mean, like I understand, like if you want to see something like that, because that's something that probably very few people in this world have seen. So, but at the end of the day, it's a whole sad situation. I don't think a mission like this will ever happen again.
No.
And if it does, I mean, I don't.
Well, then you're asking for it.
Yeah, well, I don't expect the submarine, if you will, to be in that configuration.
Yeah. Well, I don't really know, Z. I don't really know. So, like, did their bodies just absolutely just freaking dissipate into the freaking water? Like, it was just.
Well, I saw some people saying like they
like if the thing like kind of blew up and stuff like that, their whole entire body just went with it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I saw some people say like they probably just got eaten.
Yeah, they got eaten.
Like, there's life down there, and
yeah,
they gotta eat.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know. Did their body like explode with it? I mean, who knows? Who knows? I have no idea. But En's never been like interested ever. My mom works for the cruise line, so like my mom and sister are, I would say, addicted to going on cruises. Would you agree?
Z, it's maybe not as bad as your breakfast addiction, but it's up there. And the fact it's up there, it says a lot.
Yeah. Well, and they have breakfast on the ship.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly why you can probably go.
And it's a buffet style.
Oh, eggs, toast,
here we go.
berries, smoothies, waffles.
It's the same narrative. If you guys have seen, I've been eating my yogurt bowl as we've been recording this.
The guy can't go a day without it. So,
and it's called waking up.
Yeah,
having some protein.
Like that.
Having some fiber.
Not every breakfast meal on the menu you have to have in the morning. There's nothing wrong with a protein bar. There's nothing wrong with just having some water, having an apple. There's nothing wrong with that, Z. Oh, you got to meet a certain amount of calories. You got to meet a certain amount of sodium, a certain amount of chloride, a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of sugar, a certain amount of carbs. Yeah. And that's exactly why you look like a pelican.
Yeah. A certain amount of chloride. I don't even know what chloride is.
Z, I don't really know either.
Someone in the comments could be like, you know what chloride is?
Z, it's terrible. It really is.
Well, anyways, back to the point.
But yeah, the cruise obsession is honestly very odd.
Yeah. Now I've been on a handful of them, not as much as them, but I've been on a handful of them, and yeah, I mean, obviously they're a great time. Probably many of you guys have been on a cruise before. En's never been on one. And we've pitched the idea for him to come with us, but he has no interest. He has zero interest in being on a cruise. And why? And why?
Just don't really care. I've never really been a big ocean guy, Z, and don't really care to be out in the middle of the ocean. I'm sure that they're a good time. There's a lot of really cool things to see wherever you go. A lot of really cool things on the boat, things that you can do. But it's not for me. I don't really like the ocean too much.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not gonna argue that.
I like the beach. I like going up on the shore. I like putting my feet in the water. But other than that, I'm good. I'd rather, like, if I'm gonna do water activities, I'd rather go to a lake.
I agree. Now, and let's go ahead and move on here, and let's talk about.
And plus, nowadays, I wouldn't even be allowed to get on.
Yeah. If that joke flew over your guys' head, let's just say it has to do with how do I put this?
Let's just say it has to do with being a submissive shill to Mickey Mouse.
Let me see if I have. Hold on, I might have it on me. Yeah, hold on, I got you. Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if this is a thing to show on video, but I'm gonna do it.
Well, these some people might get offended by this.
Oh, they might end, but the thing is, it's gonna happen, and and there it is right there.
Yeah, it sounds about right. It really does.
Yep, and I'm sorry, and I only have the 2 shots. I don't have the 18 boosters.
The shot in the eyeball, the shot in the ass.
Shot in the ass.
Well, Z, why don't you explain why you weren't allowed to get on that one time?
Oh, here we go.
And I'm pretty sure you had the card as well.
Yeah, I did.
Yep,
I did. But the procedure was different at that time. It was May of last year. This is a good story. This is a really good story. Annette, Danielle, and I were going to go on a cruise, a Disney cruise. And at the time, Disney's protocol for getting on, vaccinated or not, you get tested the second you get to the port. Which, if you guys don't already disagree already, that's
it. They put you in handcuffs. They get you on the ground.
So if you guys don't already recognize it, it's just a terrible procedure.
Yeah,
because if I flew from where Nate lives, or if I flew from where
they
we're
hold
from,
you at gunpoint.
Well, it feels that way, Ian. Oh, and you're
down on the ground, Zachary. If you walked up to the dock and they put a gun to your head to get down. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm sure you go back on.
This has gone way too far.
Yeah, well, anyway, continue. Let's just say I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, and you're gonna piss some people off here.
Well, that's too bad. It's time to grow up.
Yeah, it is. Comedy doesn't really exist nowadays.
No, it doesn't.
Oh man. Well, so anyways, if you guys didn't already get the point that, if you're coming from where Nate's from, if you're coming where we're originally from in Arizona, if I flew all the way here and I get to the port and I can't get on, I'm going to be super upset. Right. Every other cruise line at the time, they would give you the test like 72 hours in advance. So you would take it 72 hours in advance, and then you would send it in, and then, if you test positive or whatever, right? But with Disney, it was the day of. It was the second you got to the port. So we show up, they take all the bags. So I'm going to go step by step. They take all the bags in, and they take it to the ship, and then you and your car and your party go into the parking garage. And the first thing you do before you even park your car is you get the swab test, right? And you get in there, and you take the test, and then you go up to you go up the garage, and what's funny is when you go up the garage, you see all these cars that are still on because people are waiting for their approval. Right. And so then we park and you hear people start cheering because they're approved. Oh, Mickey. God. Oh, what a great procedure.
There's a lot of people on there that didn't see a problem with that.
No. Give me the booster right when I get on.
Yep. Yep. I'm on my 5th one. I haven't I haven't had my 6th one. Give it to me in a gallon.
So we get there and we're sitting there waiting, and you guys can see, you guys probably already see where this is going. And we're sitting there waiting, and Annette's pops up, she's approved. Danielle's pops up, she's approved. And here's me. We're waiting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yep.
And as we're sitting there waiting, I get the message that says not cleared to sail.
Yep.
And so then I get a call that I have to go back down.
I really was.
Yeah. Oh, honestly,
and that really deserved it.
Honestly, and so was I, because I really didn't want to go on the cruise. So then I get a call that I have to come back down and get retested, which I did. I get retested. I come back up, and then once again I tested positive. And so then obviously we're not clear to go.
I've never seen fear like that in my life.
Yeah, I know. And so I wasn't clear to go, and because Danielle and Annette were with me, they couldn't go. And so help me make this sense. Help me make this make sense. We go down there because they tell us to come back down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And this is what they say. They go, well, if he drove in a different car, then you guys could go. Yeah. We could have woke up in the same house. We could have woke up in the same hotel room. How does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
It makes zero sense.
No, it doesn't. The whole entire situation from freaking 2020 to, I don't know, we'll say sometime in 2022, just none of it ever made any sense. None of it ever did.
No. So obviously Annette's crying.
Yep.
and
they absolutely obliterated.
And Danielle's sitting there like not really saying anything. And so then we come back down, and then like one of their like doctors or whoever comes up.
Yeah, their doctor.
And this bitch has the audacity to, she comes up to the car. I'm in the back, so she's talking to Annette and in the driver's seat. And she's like, well, here's like the paper from the CDC, quarantine yourself for 3 to 5 days now, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, actually, believe it or not, I actually had flag football the next day, which I went and played. Thank you.
Yeah.
But literally as we were sitting there, she like looked at me in the back seat, and she was like, honestly, like you should be wearing a mask right now. God, I know.
God, I would have told her to shove it up her ass.
All I said to her is I'm not putting on a mask. I'm sitting here in the car.
Well, we love being controlled. We love being a shill. We love being afraid. We've cured the flu. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much the story.
Dude,
is that like
I mean, she's exactly what's wrong with society.
Oh, and it's terrible. So I obviously didn't listen to her. I sat
and
there.
And what company does she work for? I wonder.
Yeah, well, we know the answer to that.
Yeah, we do.
But here's the worst part about it is that, now you guys might be asking like, well, what do they do when you can't get on? Well, obviously they work with you. Disney does work with you. They're not just like, sorry, see you later, lost your money. They either like rebook you, and like if they rebook you, they'll put you in like a suite on the ship or something like that. Or like if you wanted to just stay in Florida, they might give you like a 5-star hotel stay or something at Disney World or something.
Yeah.
Right. But like still, obviously, but you're there to go on the cruise, so none of that matters at the time. But what's funny is I remember what I said to that lady. I was like, so I get like you can refund people. That's another option. You give them the option of coming back and getting like a better room. But you know who's not going to refund them? Guess what, bitch? The airline. You think they give a damn? So, just a awful procedure, and
it really is.
And like I said, the worst part about it is we had to wait probably 2 hours for the bags to come back. They take your bags before you even get tested.
I know, it makes no sense.
0 sense. So
how's it take 2 hours to get your bags back?
They just couldn't find it.
Yeah, they couldn't find the bags.
Yeah.
Well, where'd you put them? Well, where'd you put it, Juan Pablo Escobar? I would love to know.
And there it is. And there it is.
God.
So, anyways, that was the end.
Nightmare.
That's the end of that story. We got the bags back and drove back home. And then obviously we rebooked the cruise, and then we went back on like 6-7 months later when the procedure was different. At that time, it was like if you they actually changed it because I'm sure they had so many complaints. If you were not vaccinated, you had to get tested 72 hours in advance. And then if you were vaccinated, you didn't have to get tested.
Well, see, that's how it should have been all along.
That's how it should have been all along.
It's really not. It's really not a hard concept. I mean, honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't think there should have been any procedures. I think it should have just been you just get your tickets and go.
Yeah.
But I'm scared. I'm scared.
God.
See, that's what they sound like. There's people that haven't come out of their house in 3 years.
Never do that again, and
I'm scared. There's a reason why when Z and I would be at the parks and we see a mask on the parking lot floor, on the road of the parking lot, we would be pointing at it saying, "See you later."
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare. It seems like that Z had that day.
Yeah, nightmare. You know, there was a time like where we would go to the parks and Ann would wear like the little gator, you know, and Ann would barely have it like right here, you know, right here, and then it would come down like this, you know, and it's so like literally so many times this guy would be told to pull it up.
Well, you know, we're outside. We have some sunshine. We should be allowed to be able to take in the fresh air.
Yeah. Well, and how do you feel about, you know, looking back on that time that you had to wear a facial covering on your face?
I mean, Z, it's something that's just absolutely embarrassing, and I think just something that, I think at the end of the day it was just a waste of everybody's time. Yep. And actually, the doctor's office dropped that mandate. So
look at where the mask is.
See my nostrils, Z.
Yeah, and keep in mind, guys.
I went home perfectly fine.
This was less than a year ago, so Ann's still wearing the mask.
I was perfectly fine. The doctors still required it.
Oh man,
they don't anymore though. They don't anymore. So I walk in as a free man.
Obviously, this isn't a conversation about COVID or any of the vaccines. So you know, all of it came back around to, why Ann couldn't get on the cruise. Oh, and still can get on, but you know, I think he, as of right now, so as to get tested to get on.
Right.
Right. And what would you do? What would you do if you got tested and you tested positive for COVID?
Yeah. Well, I'd say, you know, I've already beaten this. I've already beaten this multiple times. So my immune system is thriving. Thanks.
So you know what's funny is and never got tested, so he doesn't know if he ever had it. Of course, he claims he did.
I've gotten tested once. Z, and I did not have it.
Okay. So
I was going down to see my mom and Jolie and everybody 2 years ago, and Kathy and I. It was November of 2021. Kathy and I both were pretty sick.
Right.
And we didn't want to get my mom sick or anything like that. We were taking just normal over-the-counter flu medicine.
Right.
And but we still went and got tested just for the heck of it. We both came out in the clear. And then eventually we got, before we went, our flu and stuff like that kind of really died down, so we were okay. But yeah, that was the one only time.
Right.
So, but I can't say that I know I've ever had it though.
But he claims he did, and he claims he did like 10 times. 10 times.
Well, I'm sure I had it at least once, whether I had symptoms or not, because pretty much everybody in the country's had it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there was this one time, dude, I was just freaking really, really sick for like a full-on like week.
Right.
And it probably was that. Mm-hmm. But yeah. I'm sure I've had it at least one time, but regardless, nonetheless, we beat it. We've overcome it. The immune system is perfectly fine.
And in all seriousness, if anybody was affected by it, you know, of course, we're sorry about it.
Yep. Yeah, it's not down. Like it definitely sucks. It's a flu strand, and nobody likes being sick or anything. I just don't think that you should have to drink the vaccine. That's all.
Yeah. So, you know, if anybody got sick, if anybody lost anybody, you know, that's terrible. You know, if anybody lost a job, that's obviously,
yeah,
you know, another terrible part about it.
That's absolutely ridiculous. And the
economy's
been a hellhole since.
And why is that then?
Well,
moving on.
moving on, guys.
Oh,
Moving
man.
on. But
Uh,
anyway, at the end of the day, yeah, Z and I like to make fun of Disney with certain things. We like to make fun of and kind of just have light of certain stuff from the past that Disney's required, and we just kind of keep the narrative with it and stuff. A lot of it just kind of for fun, for giggles. Some of it's reality as well, but we just like to poke fun. We like to poke the bear. That's all it is. So I know princes and princesses don't exist anymore. Yep. Never forget it. Z is a lifeguard out in the hot weather. I had to wear that all day.
I had to wear it all day.
All day
long. What a time to be alive, man.
Well, it was.
Back to the point. That's funny about that politic thing.
Somebody's probably going to get heated seeing that.
And we're 40 minutes in. If they're not heated already, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Yeah, we can honestly go name by name on who that probably is.
we definitely can.
But I like to poke the bear. We like to have fun. We like to make light, even though some of it's, like I said, a reality. We still like to make fun of it because it's entertainment to us.
And let's just say the first name would start with the first letter of the alphabet.
Yeah. Well, that's all you got now.
Well, so all the way back to where it originally came is that and it could obviously still get on a cruise. You don't have to be vaccinated to get on a cruise anymore. But, Ends had zero interest. Will we ever go on one? Who knows? Possibly. But no, Ends never had the interest. We kind of just kind of keep it kind of simple, which is fine. Sometimes you don't always have to step out of your comfort zone. When End comes down here, or I'll go up there, and we'll find new activities to do in the area. Sure, maybe at some point we'll travel somewhere else, but just kind of keep it simple. And
yep, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's not. So yeah. So moving on from the Titanic, from the Titan, from the cruise lines, from Z's experience with getting on the cruise that one year, and their procedures and stuff like that. Z and I will talk about some moves in the NBA.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about Suns, because the Suns have been a big kind of story in the sense of those moves. The Suns last week got Bradley Beal in a trade, sent Landry Shamet, Chris Paul to Washington, and they gave up a couple draft picks that they actually do not have a draft pick until 2031. They do not have a first round pick until 2031. So Z, since you're really the Suns fan here ultimately, what are your thoughts on Bradley Beal coming to the Valley of the Sun? By his face, all you got to know. Oh, well, we just got a 25-point score. Yeah. Well, what's Devin Booker then? What's Kevin Durant then?
I started watching
one of the worst coaches in the league.
I started watching the NBA in 2020. That's when I saw Frank Vogel win the finals. I've seen nothing but super teams during my time. So, this is the best move that we could possibly do. It makes zero fucking sense. And now we have zero depth on the bench, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We
got 3 guys that can drop 25 a night. Yeah. And then meanwhile, you also got 2 out of those 3 that play 50 games a year.
It's just terrible.
It's terrible.
It's just terrible. And I go back to the first thing I'll say is not about Bradley Beal himself. I thought Bradley Beal's been maybe the most underrated star in the league for his whole time in the league.
Yeah.
So, bringing him on the team will obviously add just a whole nother factor, and, having a great player, which is always a fun time. But I don't need to go over the fact of how many super teams we've seen that doesn't work out. And this could be the next.
Yep. And it will be. It will be.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got to remove myself from the stream real quick. Z will take over for a quick 10 seconds.
Well, he might be having another World War II in his bathroom. Anyways, the trade for Bradley Beal, bunch of draft picks they gave up. they'll probably get those back at some point because they'll probably trade somebody. Maybe they'll trade Durant at some point a couple years down the road or whatever the case may be.
All right, and we're back. Sorry, Stingray was just absolutely clawing at my door.
So I was saying that at some point they might get those draft picks back because who knows who they might get down the road or who they might trade down the road.
Yeah.
With one of those guys being DeAndre Ayton. I think they're now going to keep him on the team.
Awful decision.
Yeah, which is a terrible decision because here we are in the offseason and we look at the Suns' big four, which is great, which is good, right? Because if they're all healthy and if they're all playing at their best, it's an elite top four to have. But it's not going to work out that way because DeAndre doesn't rebound the ball. DeAndre doesn't play defense. Kevin Durant, unfortunately, might go down at some point in the season. Not for the whole season, but, that's just kind of the way he is. He plays maybe 50, 60 games. Kind of same with Bradley Beal, right? So it's the fact that, they're not all going to be together. DeAndre Ayton's ass. And it's just sad to me because, I'm always a fan. I'm a fan of the D-backs, and they're a team. By the way, their stadiums are right fucking next to each other. If you know, you know. And literally just across the street, you have a team of the D-backs who have developed their own talent, drafted their own talent, and now they're starting to become a good team. Right? The Suns were the exact same way 2 years ago. Right? Over the years, drafted Booker, drafted Ayton, Bridges, Johnson. They gave Cameron Payne a chance. Right? And they brought on the perfect veteran and Chris Paul and even Jay Crowder. And now here we are 3 years later and the Suns have gained more popularity and they have fallen into the trap of, oh my God, we have a bigger market now. So let's bring in these big time players and let's just hope it works out.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not going to because the Suns don't have any rim protection. They don't have rebounding. They don't have defense in their starting lineup. And now they have zero bench. So here's the thing. When Kevin Durant or Bradley Beal or both go down, what happens? Who are you going to have to put in there? Okogie and Cameron Payne and freaking Terrence Ross?
Yeah.
I mean, really? Bismack Biyombo? Jockstrap?
He's gone.
He might be back, though. He has a qualifying offer. So that's going to be your lineup. Yeah, okay.
Real quick, I actually saw this on Twitter. So let me go to it because the Suns, I don't know if these guys were unrestricted free agents or something, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna say a couple names that they have signed, and let's see if you know who these guys are. Yeah. First name Isaiah Todd.
Yeah, I know he's really young.
No idea.
Yeah, I mean he's not really gonna bring much.
Next name, I do know this guy, Jordan Goodwin.
Yeah, but again, nothing. He's not going to bring anything.
Yeah, no, nothing. And I think that's it. They signed one other guy. And then they drafted Tumani Kamara.
Yeah.
So I mean it's going to be the exact same thing that we are not accepting because it was the same thing last year. It was the exact same thing with last year when they brought on Durant on the team, is that they had zero depth on the bench, and is that once you have to put those guys on the bench because they can't play the whole time, there's no productivity. And it was very clear. And obviously there were players from time to time who showed out. Terrence Ross, Landry Shamet had a couple good games in the series against the Nuggets, but again, there was no consistency. And you look at the teams who made it farther than the Suns this year, the Nuggets being one of them, how deep they are, not only in their whole starting lineup, but even on their bench. You look at the Heat. Nope. The Heat had a shit ton of guys go down, but they're so deep they made it to the finals, right? The Celtics got maybe 7-8 guys in the team who could start. So, and the Suns, 4. Don't give me the Josh Okogie. Don't give me the Torrey Craig.
Yeah.
Don't give me the Saban Lee. Yeah, no. So, I'm obviously being very critical, and because I've wanted to see the Suns win a championship. We were so close 2 years ago, but I think we're just going the wrong way.
It is, and it's gonna be shown. It's gonna be shown. Are the Suns gonna make the playoffs here? Probably. Absolutely. But are they gonna be a top 3 team in the West? I don't think so.
No.
I'm not sold on him. I don't trust Beal, Durant's health throughout the year. If you're going to keep Ayton, I don't trust the team's defense. I don't trust their defense against some of these other teams in the West, or even who else the East side that they're going to play throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have a very limited bench because they have max contracts given out to freaking 4 guys on the team.
Yep.
4.
Yep.
And with the NBA salary cap and everything like that, like there's nothing else you can do.
No.
It's freaking awful.
So yeah, so it's like how do you build your team? Like there's really no way to it. Like that's why they're just signing all these guys, Jordan Goodwin, and obviously not that they can become maybe a possible role player, but the Suns, you guys have to understand the Suns did the same exact thing last off season. They signed Josh Okogie, they signed Jock Lindell, and then they signed
it was one of the worst benches in the league last year, Z.
Yeah, I know it was, and it's gonna be the same thing this year.
Could be the same thing this year.
So they have to trade DeAndre Ayton. They're not going to, but that means their start lineup will be Booker, Beal, Okogie, Durant, Ayton, which is exciting. That's exciting. Yeah. But how exciting is it come August?
Yeah. How exciting is it going to be come freaking
whatever the playoffs is,
February?
May.
Yeah,
May.
Come freaking February, March, when the trade deadline's approaching and the team's sitting at 500.
Yeah. So, will they be good? Yeah, I think they'll be good. But this is not the same as like other super teams that have succeeded. This is not the same as like
this isn't the Heat. This isn't the Heat with LeBron, Wade, Bosh. This isn't the Mavericks. Well, I'm not even the Mavericks. I mean, they did it on their own. This isn't the Celtics with Allen and Garnett. This isn't the Lakers.
So I'm not even necessarily comparing like the top players. Like the Suns have their big 3, big 4, whatever you want to say, but it's the fact that like on the Heat, and again I know they have a bigger market, but on the Heat outside of their big 3, there were a plethora of guys who would come in.
That's what I mean. Like I'm not comparing the players either. I'm just referring to the teams.
Right. And so let's go the other side of the spectrum. Let's go the Nets when they had Kyrie, Harden, and Durant. Who outside of those 3 would produce? Joe Harris? Right? No.
Yeah.
Who? Freaking I don't know who else. Yeah, Andre Drummond. Yeah. So no, it's just like and then even when they got Kyrie and Luka on the same team, like that's great. But who the fuck else is gonna produce? Finney Smith?
He's not even on the team. He's on the Nets.
Yeah. Freaking Dwight Powell?
Christian Wood?
Yeah, Christian Wood? Ass.
Reggie Bullock?
Yeah. So
Tim Hardaway?
So like, we've shown you guys time and time again that it's the same thing with the Suns, and unless like just out of nowhere that 2 or 3 of their guys off the bench just become like literally 6-man worthy, then it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle. And and your depth's going to get tested, because we all know in any sport, any professional sport, that once somebody goes down, it's just the nature of it, that who is going to take his place and produce for that time being.
Who's going to be the next man up? Who's going to be the next man up to compete with some of these teams that are going to play throughout the year when Beal or Durant or both go down? We'd love to know. Now, obviously, I made the proposition in the Suns offseason to move off Chris Paul, to move off DeAndre Ayton. They've done one of the two. And to go get a rim protecting center. Durant and Booker are going to be your 2 scorers. You go get a point guard that can help facilitate the ball. And you go get a bench of guys that you kind of somewhat had 2-3 years ago when you made the finals run.
Yeah.
And you go get a scorer off the bench, somebody you can rely on.
Right. Obviously, that finals team with the Suns a couple years ago was just honestly just perfect. It really was perfect. And obviously they win the finals, but just from their starting lineup to having a natural point guard to a shooter to all the athleticism they had coming off the bench, they do not have that. Oh, well, we got Baisley.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baisley.
Yeah, Baisley.
Is that guy even still on the team?
I don't know. He might have a qualifying offer, Z.
Yeah. So, obviously, I'm very not for the trade. I do really like Bradley Beal as a player, so I hope he does stick on the Suns for a little while. But I don't know, man. I'm just nervous. I'm real nervous for next season.
Yeah, I would be too. When we look at the teams in the West, I would take over the Suns as we sit here. Denver, I would take.
Mm-hmm.
I would take. Let's see here. Let me pull up the team so I don't miss anybody. Boom beanie boom bottom, but
there's gonna be some teams that are considered that I'm not gonna take over them. So I'll take the Nuggets. I'm not taking the Lakers. I'm not taking the Warriors.
All right. Well, hold on. Yeah, I got it. Relax. Denver, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Memphis, I won't because John Morant's gonna be suspended.
He's a joke.
And who knows ultimately how much that they'll do to their team. Now, if they do some stuff this offseason, which I think they can, then yeah, I think that they could. Sacramento, I'm taking the Kings over the Suns. I am for sure. I'm on the De'Aaron Fox, Sabonis train. I think they have a good balanced roster with their bench and their lineup. Now, Harrison Barnes is free agent. They could always bring somebody in for agency. I think that they will be a little active. So, yes, I'm going to take them over the Suns. So that's 3 teams right there. And that would put the Suns at 4.
Yeah. Which I think the Kings one's a little debatable. Just
maybe Golden State. Golden State's still debatable. I think Golden State's debatable a little bit. Them getting rid of Jordan Poole, I think, was a good move.
Absolutely, it was.
And they had to, too, because their luxury tax situation. So, but it was a good move. It was a good move.
Absolutely was. I think the Kings one's actually a little debatable as well, due to the fact that outside of their big 2, I don't think they have many shooters on the team. So, and the Kings obviously don't play big, so
neither do the Suns.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. So at that point, that would come down to a shooting battle, and I would take the Suns over that all day. So, I don't think I think the Kings will still improve next season because they're going to make some moves in free agency, absolutely. But as it stands right now, I'd probably still take the Suns over the Kings. But I mean, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, of course, I'm excited for the rest of the offseason to see if the Suns make any other move that they possibly can. Matasheba.
Yep. Yeah, I say Bradley Beal is on the Suns for 1.5 years. I'm gonna say he's gonna be on the team this year, and he'll get traded at some point next season.
That's not long at all.
No, it's not, because it's not gonna work out, and they're gonna have to move either him or Kevin Durant, and they're gonna trade Bradley Beal.
Yeah. Well, so let us know what you guys think of our conversation about the Suns. We'll just kind of leave it on the Suns. We won't talk too much about the rest of the moves. We'll kind of let the the NBA offseason kind of gel a little bit and kind of get going before we have a real conversation about it.
I will say one team I do like on the come up is the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trail Blazers.
Yeah, well, if the Blazers trade Lillard, then I don't know. So
they still have a good young group, even if they trade Damian Lillard, because who they'll get in return as well will add to that. And yeah, so I think they're on the come up. I like both of them. Definitely think they're on the come up. So, but I think it'd be great if the Heat got Damian Lillard. So that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, and that's someone who I predicted them to get, really, I think, since last season. So yeah, I mean, God, talk about another guy who freaking plays 40 games a year.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, we're just gonna kind of leave it there. We're not gonna kind of dissect too much. We want to give our thoughts on that Suns trade.
Mm-hmm.
We'll kind of, like I said, we'll dive into the NBA offseason as more trade signings kind of go down. But yeah, and that means I guess we'll kind of end it here. So we got a big night tonight. We might be crowned champions.
Well, you might see. Let me know how it goes. Good luck to all you guys who tuned in. Hopefully you got some laughs out of this episode. Who knows if you learned something new or not? We don't know. But we appreciate your guys' support anyway. And we are just trying our best each week, ladies and gentlemen, to grow this channel the best we can, put out some content. But put some thoughts in the comment section. If you want to, you guys can follow my channel at In Hindsight. It will be in the link below, my other channel.
Yep.
But Z and I, we will be back probably sometime next week as well. So, but we're going to end it there. And Z, is there anything that you want to say? Because I know the last time you were not able to say it.
Just peace and love.
No, that's all he has to say at the end of the day. And the thing is, he says that, but he does not live that, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll see you guys next week. And we will see if Z is crowned champion by the time we are back.